It's Friday here on Football Spy Online, a bad day to be a Liverpool fan. All the papers have news that the club are in meltdown following the publication of their accounts on Thursday night. Basically, owners Hicks and Gillett will have to raise around £350 million to keep the banks happy by July. And in terms of transfers, the Anfield club are having to significantly lower their sights. This is a Mail. They say that far from pursuing £15 million Portsmouth right back Glenn Johnson and £15 million Valencia left winger David Silva, Liverpool will have to look at the likes of £2 million Portsmouth defender Sylvain Distin and Middlesbrough striker Tunkai. In other words, the bargain basement. Better news for Arsenal fans. I know what you did last summer. You begged me for some news. Any news of possible signings? There was none, as Arsene Wenger placed his faith in the club's youngsters. This summer looks to be different, as the Mirror's spy page shows here. Wenger wants the prolific Wolfsburg striker Edin Dzeko, who would cost around £8 million. City looking at him too. He scored 26 in 32 last season to help his club towards the title in Germany. And if Wenger manages to get good money in for Adebayor, that would represent excellent business. Now, some of you already been getting in touch saying that you think he's a better bet than Blackburn's Roque Santa Cruz. And I can understand that point of view in terms of Santa Cruz's injury record, but I still like him a lot. Gunners fans, let me know what you think. Now, more papers for you, and this is the back page of the Mirror. On the left, I'm sure you're all getting a bit bored of Ronaldo, but it seems so are United, as they've quoted Real Madrid £75 million for him. If they meet the fee, according to our men in Manchester, United will sell and use the money to beef up the Premier League champions even further. The story on the right of that Mirror back page is also interesting. Have a look at it again. I know a lot of you are watching our Villa fans, and we understand here at Spy that they might have another fight on their hands after selling Barry, this time to hold on to Ashley Young. The word is that Young is worried that losing Barry to City could be the start of a slippery slope for Villa. I think that's a fair point, because outside of the top four, where do you find a comparable player to Barry? Now, every day we're looking at teams in the Premier League and asking where they're most likely to strengthen and what they might get. Blackburn today, and one area where it's obvious they need to improve is their attack. Santa Cruz, as we know, wants out. Apparently he can go for £12 million. Benny McCarthy isn't getting any younger, nor is Jason Roberts, which is why Rovers have been looking at the Austrian striker Mark Janko at Salzburg. He scored lots of goals there, but then so did Alfonso Alves before he went to Middlesbrough for Heerenveen. Alan Smith at Newcastle is a target, but he doesn't score enough goals, and the Red Mists descend often a bit too much for me. Peter Crouch could be the answer, despite the takeover at Pompey. Still a little bit of uncertainty over who's going to take over, with Sven now going to Sporting Lisbon. Sam Allardyce, having saved Blackburn, could do for Crouch what he's done for a whole host of strikers, so I wonder if he could maybe move there. At the back, the Marseille defender Gal Gives had his loan deal made permanent at Rovers. I think Lucas Neal, just released from West Ham, would be a good shout. Another player who could do well for Rovers is Fabrizio Colaccini. He could come a lot cheaper than the £10 million Newcastle paid for him. Tomorrow we'll look at Bolton, but before we move on, a quick chance to win a pair of Nike football boots. I'm looking for a strapline to use at the start of the Football Spy show. So, for example, welcome to Football Spy, the transfer gossip show with its ear to the ground, or words to that effect. Email spy@mirror.co.uk with your suggestions, and make sure you tell me what size boot you wear. You've got to put that in, and the best entry will win the boots. We'll get in touch with you when we decide on the winner. Here are the boots again for you. Quite nice, actually. Two more stories for you. The Mail say that Sunderland want to pair the Valencia striker Nikola Zigic with Darren Bent. Zigic is a very good player, being linked with a lot of Premier League clubs. The Mirror say that Newcastle are struggling to shift Joey Barton, even though they want him out. He's on 50k a week, but he says he's not going anywhere, got a good contract there. And although this isn't a transfer story, still a worry for Crystal Palace fans in the Sun. They say that the club Sellers Park ground could be sold off after their owners went into administration with debts of £500 million. Big worries for them. I'm off to have a look at footage on this Dzeko goal machine at Wolfsburg on the Football Spy blog. And I'll be online at blogs.mirror.co.uk/football-spy to answer all your questions from right here in the Mirror newsroom all day. We've also got a new presenter next week who's extremely well connected at Arsenal. We've got more competitions as well. Anne and Chris, they're in the Spy office to bring you up to date with all the breaking transfer news today on our blogs page. And I'll see you on Monday. Have a nice weekend.